Breaking Dawn Part 1 just sets up for Breaking Dawn Part 2, which becomes even more exciting.
Yes, that's right. The final episode of the Twilight series has finally arrived. In last year's first part, we saw Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson's characters welcome a baby. In this installment, their child's rapidly growing up and isn't exactly your average toddler.
Renesmee is very unique in that she grows. She's half vampire, half human. That has never existed before, which, you know, gives even more credit to Bella and Edward for doing this, because it was not an easy thing to do. It's really unprecedented in the vampire world.
2 is the big conclusion to the huge Twilight series. To successfully end a franchise like this, the makers, of course, wanted an epic finale.
It's the story. It spans the globe and encompasses a huge amount more of the vampire world. Many different characters, many different, showing how many different powers and abilities vampires can have.
You know, as I get into the second movie, it's like the exciting thing is that it's so unbelievably different. It is like making a completely new movie. It's the same characters, a whole bunch of new ones, a huge amount of new vampires, but it just feels like a completely different animal.
In Breaking Dawn Part 2, now we fully understand all the characters and their new relationships with each other. We've been introduced to new characters, and we got a little bit more action in Part 2 as well.
It definitely felt like an ending. Suddenly there was just an enormous amount of new cast, and we were just doing scenes with 30 people in it, and massive fight scenes, and it seemed big, and it seemed like it turned into like a juggernaut by that point.
While Kristen Stewart played a human in the previous Twilight movies, she's now a vampire. This change has given her some kick-ass special powers, and she's not afraid to use them.
It's not like it is a random idea for her to have a shield. It actually is very fitting. It's not, it's not a completely arbitrary thing that she can drop everyone's guard. That she, there's just no lying. You know what I mean? I think that really says something about her. I think as much of a physical thing as it was, and it was cool to be strong and fast and everything like that, it was nice to just see a fully realized version of Bella.
The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2 can be seen in cinemas now.